States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Today is August 27th, 2018. Can I have a roll call, please?
Missouri. Here. Hazel.
Here.
Whaling.
Here.
Caprows.
Here.
Meyer. Here. Kraus.
Here. We have the minutes from August 13th. Are there any changes? If not, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
There is a second. Any question or motion? Roll call?
Missouri. Yes. Hazel.
Yes.
Whaling.
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Meyer. Yes. Kraus.
Yes.
Clerk's report?
The only thing I have is the tax income received since July 23rd is $186,383.73.
Anyone from the audience wish to address the board? If not, Finance and Administration Committee, Trustee Basil.
All right, Will County aggregation update. The Will County aggregation group opened 3 bids for electrical supply on July 31st. The lowest bid was from Constellation Energy, which was 6% lower than ComEd rates, beginning October 1st. This rate was locked in for 3 years, and letters advising residents of this new rate went out last week. ComEd rates should continue to climb, but if they do not, the village will advise the residents to opt out of this program, which they can do at any time at no cost. Illinois Municipal Insurance Cooperative update. We have closed the books on fiscal year 13-14, and the founding members will receive $142,980 in dividends from the leftover proceeds. We are beginning to close the books after final audit on fiscal year 14-15, and the dividends of $189,398 will be shared amongst the founding members. It has been decided to spread these dividends out over time so that the steady stream of revenue will come in. This was the majority option, but not all members against. Beecher first dividend will be $6,000 this year and increasing by $6,000 each year afterward until we level off around $18,000 per year. This is the goal. Close chart. Village is monitoring state tax collections. Enclosed are charts showing how revenue is collected by month from the Illinois Department of Revenue and various utility companies. These monthly returns are monitored closely and compared to our budgeted amount. So far, we are right on target. Any questions on those things? No? Illinois Department of Revenue explains the impact of the U.S. Supreme Court decision requiring the collection of internet sales taxes. The enclosed letter states that municipalities may see an uptick in their use taxes, but most of the big internet providers like Amazon already are paying sales tax, so do not expect a large windfall on that. And the last thing on my agenda is update of the village's health insurance pool. The first joint meeting of the Eastern Will and Western Will sub-pools was held last Friday. Of interest to the board is where the village is financially right now. We have $112,381 in reserves, with $31,154 of this amount being unrestricted. The village's PPO loss ratio is 125.4, which means that we could have a renewal rate of at least 25% higher next year if we were purchasing annual standalone policies. The sub-pool is performing at 94.7%. The Illinois combined pool is running at 95.2, so we can see that the pooling helps to keep our costs more consistent over time in the health insurance market. Please see the enclosed report. If there's no questions, that ends my report.
Excuse me, Public Buildings and Properties, Parks and Recreation, Trustee Levin.
Okay, tot lot update. I think we came up with a suitable site for the tot lot. We're talking the northeast corner of the park by the parking lot, and there's nothing else over there, so that should be a nice spot to bring the rest of the park together, you know, fold that in. What I did is I passed around some of the photos of some of the equipment that we're looking at. The first one, as you can see, it's a different design. It's made out of a different material, but it's a firehouse, and you know, we're looking at prices. It says the price at the top. And then there's other ones that were given in this packet just to show you some price ranges as far as what, you know, if we were to expand or move on to a bigger playground at some point. Also, grants are being pursued. Of course, with grants, you know, that takes time, and it seems like everybody's anxious to get this going, you know, and looks like some of these designs are coming in at the right price.
This price that's suggested here is not installed, right?
That's not installed.
Is that
None of
with-
these
Is that
prices
with the
are-
mulch also? I mean, because I think the other one had the mulch
Yeah,
included with it.
I wanted,
17,000.
right, I wanted to show you some of these designs that I got from them, and I'll break it down into, you know, what we need to do as far as installation and mulch and so on. I just wanted to get your opinion as far as what you thought of some of these designs.
Well, some of the Lions members have brought to my attention of the site where it's at, where you're proposing. They would rather see it over on the other end of the park, over by maybe the T-ball field, and move the T-ball field there, because there's really nothing on the T-ball field but grass. I mean, it's basically grass there anyway. So, because I think what we were all thinking is that the top lot would be by the ball fields there, 1 and 2.
Okay.
So, that was just some of the members brought it to my attention. I wanted to bring it out.
Is the T-ball field used? Just asking. Is it?
Yeah,
What, how big, I think I was like, how big is the stake site?
Moved it.
Matt, did you stake the site over?
All we did was put a center stake in of roughly where the center of it would be. We don't.
Okay,
Do we know how big area we're talking?
it's gonna be a small area. I mean, we're talking this 2 to 5 year old section. The only thing about the T-ball field is, I know during the 4th of July, there's a lot of equipment, there's a lot of rides over on that T-ball side.
You just have to see if it even fit. I mean, that T-ball field and that field too, I mean, the only reason they work there together is because they have the smaller kids on there. Those outfields are butted up, I mean, they overlap. So the only reason it has worked in the past is because you had smaller kids there who weren't hitting it that far. That field 3 is used for the older baseball kids and older softball
Field
girls.
3 is?
Yes, the one off
Field
of
2 is not.
Right.
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, those kids are gonna hit that ball, I mean, you're talking, a 6th, 7th, 8th.
Some of the things that Scott
Field 2
pointed
is
out.
pretty much just softball now.
Field, this past year, they used it for just softball and
Field
younger
3
girls.
was, yeah,
Field 3 was the older kids, mostly
boys.
baseball.
When we were out there talking that day, some of the things, some of the other points that were made, we didn't think of plowing the field, even if that was possible. Parking was close to the top lot, and there was nothing at the north end where we're cramming everything down in the south end. So the discussion of trying to balance out the park by putting something to the north. Some of the discussion that went on that particular day. Again, no decision's been made, we just thought that it might fit there better than any other place, because every single time we picked a spot, man said, nope, nope.
So it's your fault.
I guess
We
so.
kind of ran into that problem with the concession stand too, did we not?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
we
thing moved all over the place out there until we finally found a spot where we fit.
What about the outfield of field 3, center field? Between where center field, I'm sorry, 1.
Where the pad is.
Yeah, between the outfield, because they usually put a fence up, so there's area between that fence and the pad.
Yeah, we
Is
had
that-
looked at that.
is that something
You're
that-
talking about where Hodges Street comes in
Yes.
right there?
that correct?
We had talked about that.
No parking, it may contribute to a problem that we already have that we haven't resolved
I
yet,
think these little kids are gonna be driving up to go to that.
but somebody's gonna drive it. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
we thought about a parking lot there, trying to solve the other problem that we're having there. I just think we're gonna be too much down to the center, to the south. I think we need something to the north. The example that I always use was I had a friend call up, and yes, I did have a friend, I do have a friend, call up and ask where could they go, they're coming into Beecher, where could they take their little kids to play? And then is there somewhere down in Fireman's Park they can play? So this sort of fits into that kind of where I had to refer him to the water tower. But if he would've came in, depending upon where it's at, you'd have to park and then walk. To me, it might be better to be parking down there with your kids and then maybe put some picnic tables around there and everything. I don't know. It's still open for discussion.
I got a couple of questions, and I don't think anyone's really got the answer right now. And I think the way you gotta look at this is, what are you trying to accomplish? Earlier I heard about, we're trying to accomplish something to keep kids occupied while there's other activities going on at Fireman's Park. So if that's the case, I wouldn't necessarily cater towards where people can park and keeping it close to that, because the idea is that these kids are gonna be playing on it while other facilities within the park are being used. And then the second part to this is, I think you really gotta identify your demographic. I don't know if, and just kinda going by what you said, is, you know, you're kind of trying to target kids 2 to 5. I would worry about an individual park that, with equipment and stuff that's designed that small for such little kids, where it could be damaged, because the fact of the matter is just because little Joey is playing a baseball game doesn't mean that he doesn't have an older brother or an older sister that's waiting to, you know, on that to happen. And you could be talking about kids in the ages of, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12, you know. And I don't know if you wanna come up with equipment that's only designed for that small of an age group, to where, I mean, the idea is this is gonna be, right, it's our biggest park in town, and what we're trying to do is to, I just would hate to rush something to get something up just cause you can. I mean, if anything, I'd like to sit down at, you know, in budget discussion next year, if this gets rolling, and see if we can come up with some money and some other ways to do it right, and get it bigger and, you know, nicer, and, you know, it be able to be used by kids of all ages, not necessarily 2 to 5-year-olds.
Right, and that's one thing, you know, that's what we went into this about, is doing it in stages. Because you look at the prices on some of these units, you know, this alone, just this one is 15,400, and then you step up to the different age groups, you're talking 50, 60, 70, you know, $1,000. So the way we went into it was the fact of do it in phases, you know, have it all set up and do the small unit first and then build from there. You know, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. I don't think we'll ever get to that point where we'll have enough money to complete the whole thing all at once, you know,
Not all at once, but over time, I think you can.
over time.
Because the Fourth of July Commission, if they make profit, they have to spend it in the park. They can't let it leave the park property.
Right.
Yeah, and our thought was, you got a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, you're not gonna send them down to Miller Street, and you're playing in ball field 1 or 2, you're not gonna send your kid down to Miller Street to play on equipment.
Is the idea to put this in only to, I don't wanna use cater, I don't like the word cater, but only to build it so that the people that are playing on the ball fields can utilize it, or are we trying to utilize it for everything, including the ball fields?
Including the ball fields, of course.
Yeah, we have the most bang for our buck, but too, you put a top lot next to a parking lot for 2 to 5-year-olds, they're the ones that are more likely just to jet somewhere, even if the parents are watching them.
Well,
Not
just
using
go
a
to
parking
watch.
lot.
I mean, there's pros and cons and everything, and again, all I'm doing is just throwing out all the discussion that was had that particular day.
Right, and you know, when you get into this, you don't realize how much goes into it, you know, with signage and everything else, because the kids have to understand that these are different age groups. and the older kid, you know. And if you get into an older playground for older kids, the younger ones really can't go on there, you know, the 2 to 5 year olds. You know, because there's different gaps, there's different, you know, equipment and everything else. So there's a lot that goes to it, you know, as far as signage and everything else. And I know everybody wants to get it done right away, but, you know, we have to consider everything, you know, everybody's comments, you know, and what are we looking for the end result? Are we looking for a playground that's 75, 100,000, you know, that type of thing, so.
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yep.
Stacy gave me a bunch of pictures and emails and grants and,
Yes,
you know.
compliments of a resident.
So, you know, I mean, everything is being collected, and I think we want to do it right before we just, you know, place something at the wrong spot. So that's where we're at. It's work in progress. Fireman's 2 ball field lights, I have not heard a word, you know, as far as the lights.
I'll take it off the agenda until something
Yeah.
happens.
Lions Park Playground repair, I know that you're looking at taking the stone out, putting mulch in, putting swings in.
And we're gonna
Yeah.
purchase 2 new slides, because the slides are rusted.
Is there a schedule for that, Frank?
Yeah.
That's something I should also take off the agenda because it's a project for next year.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to move the rock out in the fall, maybe?
Yeah, late fall, winter time.
Yeah,
This is a Lions project.
this is a Lions
Okay,
project.
so we're all aware of the project. I'll take it off the agenda until something happens. How's that?
Yeah,
Generator for the police station, any update?
Yeah, the electricians have been out there a couple different times throughout the past 2 weeks. They'll be back out there on Wednesday doing some more work. We need to come up with a time frame for them to come out and actually shut the power down for anywhere from 20 minutes to 5 hours. So they said that they could come in as early as 5 a.m. and start their project. So hopefully there'll be less downtime for normal day operations. But it's moving in the right direction.
Okay. AT&T and Call One are bringing in fiber optic lines into the village hall.
Yes, we should say, it wasn't supposed to cost us anything, but it did cost us some modifications in our room that we had to make to accommodate the new fiber coming into the PRA. It was something that we didn't anticipate, we weren't told. Public Works probably could have done the work, but they're so short-handed right now, they didn't have the time, so we just got it done internally through a contractor. But fiber will be installed, and over time, we'll be phasing out the copper. Copper is a thing of the past, and it's costing more and more per month, so our monthly bills should go down when we go back to the fiber. We still plan on using Surfair Wireless for the wireless internet, because we do it for free. But as time goes on, perhaps they go out of business or get bought out and we lose our internet, we'll have a fiber backup option at that time.
Right. Okay. That ends my report.
Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee, Trustee Reserve.
Okay, the building department monthly report is enclosed for your review. As far as the comprehensive plan, since last month, TESCA has been at gatherings for the Chamber of Commerce, the Youth Commission, Lions Club, Summerfest, and Public Visioning Workshop. Most of the data collection is now complete, and it is time to begin planning. The next step in the process is a meeting with the Intergovernmental Commission this Wednesday, the 29th, at Township Building at 7. The planners will be asking questions of local elected officials from each taxing body to gather their opinions, as well as add it to all the opinions they've already received. TESCA is also going to be at the next senior breakfast, talking to some of the seniors, and in October, we will transition into putting the vision into text and maps. Status of developments in Beecher. As part of the data collection, we had to inventory platted and improved lots which do not yet have dwelling units. The village has 385 vacant single-family lots and 257 townhome lots. This is 642 total vacant lots. In addition, there are 1,068 lots which are platted but not improved. Please see the closed report. That ends my report.
Public safety, trustee Kraus.
Thank you. The police department, EMA, and code enforcement monthly reports are enclosed. Anybody have any questions about those?
Sorry to make the pack. I'll take the blame.
We all got it eventually. I do want to comment on one thing. August 9th, there was a post on Facebook about Beecher going out to, where in Indiana?
St. John?
St. John, Indiana. I did talk to the chief a little bit about it. I don't have an issue overall if they're helping kids out. And it did not cost us any money, correct?
No, I was working with that.
I do have a couple questions. Was the jurisdiction that it's in, were they asked to do it,
Yes.
and they said no?
No, he's an instructor for RTF, and
Okay.
specifically asked because of his training.
Okay, so that municipality asked them?
Yes.
Were they out there
No,
with them?
the school asked him.
No, I didn't, no, the municipality that the
That I
school's in?
don't know. That I
And
don't
we
know.
don't know if the school reached out to them and they said no?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay. Do you know how many years we've been doing that for that school?
No.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this is because when I got on, one of the things that the police department didn't do was do that type of training in our own community. I don't have a problem with our police department going somewhere and helping another municipality out. We don't have jurisdiction, this is a town in Indiana, we don't have jurisdiction. Some of the pitfalls, if we're giving them training, that where they're at, they train differently. Usually stuff like that, I mean, this is basically talking school shootings, school incidents.
Yes.
Okay. Normally, the principles and tactics that are taught throughout the country are the same, but if you have, say you're in St. John, they might do things a little different. They might respond differently. They might have different agreements with like county or state or fire or something like that. So I think the fact that we're doing it, I don't have a problem with, but the fact that we didn't reach out to them or ask them or see if they even just want to come to see what we're doing, we're teaching that, that could be an issue if we're teaching kids or parents or, the teachers to do one thing and the municipality, the police that they're in are expecting something else when they respond, that can be dangerous for everybody. And the fact, like I said, that we didn't offer it to our own community for at least 4 to 5 years that I was told of by the last administration. It wasn't this chief, it was the last one in the last administration. And if this is the first year, that's fine, but if we've been going out 3 or 4 years and doing it in another town to help, and not neglecting our community and our kids, that's something I think is just absolutely ridiculous. It's atrocious that we weren't doing it in the first place and it was never done. And if we're doing it for someone else and not our kids, I think that's worse.
Yeah, you can't say it was never done, it was done.
In the last 4 to 5 years, that's what they
That's
told me, it
correct.
wasn't done. And you were there for those interviews, that makes a big difference because the way that police respond to those incidents have changed dramatically. And you saw firsthand what the response was for some of those people we were doing those part-time interviews with. Their taxes were just completely wrong. And it wasn't their fault, they weren't taught the proper way. So that's what I have a big issue with. You're not taking care of your own. That's all I have, thank you.
How many officers were there?
In St. John's?
Just one.
One.
Yeah.
One?
Yes.
He did it on his own time?
No. No.
So he did it on our time?
Yes. Yeah, you guys have to understand that we don't have the manpower, a lot of the towns around us don't have the manpower. If we get a shooting in the school, you're talking probably 100 to 200 officers, and it's probably anything within probably 25 miles of this town is gonna be responding to us. We got together in this area, we've been training with surrounding towns, whether it's Indiana or Illinois, they'll be here. It just as we would be there for them. In a mass shooting the size of a school, clear a room, like even for our high school, it would probably take clearing room to room, I would guess between 3 and 4 hours. It's methodically, it's with master keys, we're going in there. So that's what we've been doing. What Todd was talking about is some of the officers said they wouldn't go in by themselves because the old way they taught it in a diamond formation. That was the best practice at the time. They weren't updated that, hey, now you get a shooting, you're going by yourself if you have to. You just go to the shots fired. You go to the sound of gunfire. So changing that, changing styles, changing methodology. Now we're bringing firemen in with us. Before, firemen would stage, but now we're gonna clear a corridor for them to go in, because to try to do the life-saving part, time does matter. So we're trying to get the firemen in quicker, and that's why everybody's redoing all their training. We do have a couple of instructors that do teach it. It does benefit us, because not only training our guys, it's training the people that will be responding to our school. Because like I said, we'll run 2-3 officers. That's everybody's going. I'm not even able to stay myself. The way they're teaching it now is we're going to get there, and we're going to go straight to the gunfire.
That's all.
Public Works, trustee Cordes.
Water Department and Sewer Department monthly reports are enclosed for your review. Wastewater treatment plant improvement project update. All underground work is being laid, including new junction flow boxes, tie-in lines, clarifier pit. A new path to the grade school lift station has been installed. A progress meeting was held on August 18th. Minutes are enclosed. And the next progress meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, September 5th. Dunbar water main update. Work has begun. I don't know if they got out there today. I know over the weekend they basically been getting ready. I saw an excavator out there ready to dig pits. I don't know what happened today, but that was as of this weekend. Anyway, residents will be advised, or residents were advised of the work in a letter that was from the village delivered by hand. The contractor will advise the residents when their water will be temporarily disrupted or driveways blocked. The plan is to complete this work by the end of September and restorations hopefully by November 1st. Miller Street lift station rehab update, I think that's already done. We already reported on that, right?
That's done, yeah.
That was completed the last.
That's done, take out.
Yep, that's done.
Curb sidewalk repair update. I know I've seen them out there. There's a couple of
Yeah.
spots in my subdivision. Looks like the concrete's done, waiting on the asphalt.
Correct, yeah. Curbs are gonna be done tomorrow. They're gonna be leaving for a week to go do another job, and then they'll be back, roughly the second week of September to start on the sidewalk sections.
Gould Street boardwalk ceiling update.
Gas painting was supposed to be out here, last Monday to start that project. His father passed away, so he pushed it up until, he's supposed to be here tomorrow morning.
Tree removal and tree trimming program update.
We have 6 trees remaining from last year's list. We're planning on now, just since we're so short-handed, just to move those 6 to our fall or winter list for this coming year.
We really haven't made a list for this year either, have we?
Not yet, no.
Water meter replacement program update.
Since May 1st, we've either replaced or new construction, total of 27 installs. So we were thinking, we tried doing it with Penfield Street when we redid the water main there, getting as many of those houses and put new meters in there. We're trying to do the same thing with Dunbar Street, but we're working on a plan for trying to get in there and in some of those houses.
And our goal is 100 for the fiscal year, and a lot of those installs are critical.
And a lot of them just happen as.
Yeah, well, so
progress goes,
like
right? As soon as like
a meter read.
an MXU goes out or something like
Yeah,
that.
so here in the
we're
next,
there.
we're gonna start reading meters tomorrow, and we'll come up with a list off of that of which ones aren't reading, and go from there. We give a list to Donna, and she starts making phone calls for us, so.
Public Works Committee meeting, scheduled for Thursday, September 6th, 7 o'clock. We'll begin to review applications and set up interview schedule for, Public Works employee opening. Penfield STP update, village got over a hurdle on the possible registry of the bridge. It has been deemed not historically significant. We'll now focus on the completion of phase 1 with community workshop on the roadway plan scheduled for later this fall. Most likely at the community hall. Workshop will be very similar to the 2040 comp plan. We will then proceed to phase 2 hopefully in the spring.
I have a question on that. What's the dates that we're hoping that that'll be completed? will that be into our sesquicentennial
Absolutely.
celebration? Will that be a
2020.
problem down there?
2020.
Well,
By
because-
August, it won't be done, or?
Well, here's the
2020?
thing, Frank, we target everything done, and our full application is sitting in Washington by January 1, 2020. When Washington decides to fund it, is entirely up to them.
Okay.
But we'll be ready to go. Now, I've seen a lot of these projects not get funded till 2021, you know, it just depends on what happens. We may not get funding until the fall, which means we gotta wait till the spring, so we'll have to wait and see. Until we get our full application into Washington and get in the queue, we just don't know. Because it's a federal program,
Okay, so it could be actually after?
could be. It won't be any time before January.
Could be
1.
smack dab in the middle of it.
Could be right in
Could
the
be.
middle of it, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be good. Okay, I just,
But you gotta
Wondered
remember
that.
too is, that will, when that happens, I mean, once a contractor's selected and stuff like that, you'll have to see how it's all planned.
yeah.
You know, are they gonna start at one end and rip all the way through to the end? Or is it gonna be done in phases
In
down,
phases.
down the line, so.
We made it through the water main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly.
That really wasn't bad.
With you.
No.
Water main project, they were
No.
very accommodating, the contractor was very accommodating.
All right, consider a motion waiving bids for the upgrade of the village's SCADA system for water distribution. Since the original equipment we are upgrading and repairing is the energetics system, it makes sense that we have them upgrade their own equipment. We'll still be using original communications platform that was installed in 2002. Those of you that remember budget time, I questioned this about there being 32,000 in there. We got a final number. There may still be some more work after this, but right now, it's a bridge to cross later, but we got 32,000 budgeted. The amount is 26,190. So what we're looking to do is just waive the bids for other companies and just use Energetics, which is their system. So at this time, I'll go ahead and make a motion to waive bids for the upgrade of the village's SCADA system for the water distribution.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Whaling,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Zerk,
Yes.
Consider a proposal in the amount of $26,190 from Energetics to upgrade the SCADA system at well 3 in the booster station in the amount of $26,190. So I will go ahead and make a motion to approve a proposal in the amount of $26,190 from Energetics to upgrade the SCADA system at well 3 in the booster station.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Zerk,
Yes.
Basil,
Yes.
Whaling,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes. Public Works Chair and the Village President request a design and a price for making a cul-de-sac off of Hodges Street extension at the west end of Fireman's Park. The village engineer did not provide a design. Are they gonna get us a design?
I was supposed to have it today, didn't get it, so
Okay.
we'll have to wait.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a price in the future, or design in the future.
I'm not happy with the price.
Well, hang on. But they provided a price of $208,000 or $178,000 without contingency. Personally, I think that's really high. This could be another example of what we've seen with Dunbar Water Main. Engineer estimate was $400,000 when we got the job into the twos, so I'm not panicking over it, and I'm not gonna lose any sleep. I think it's something that can be done. In here, we talk about possibly Public Works preparing the road bed. I don't think that's really an option. I'm not gonna even think about asking our department to do something like that. If this is a feasible project, it is something that we will contract out, so, in my opinion. Basically, it's just some information. Hopefully we got a design for the next meeting. Consider the purchase of a 2001 ODB LCT 650 leaf loader, an amount not to exceed $8,000 from Claus Municipal Supply, to fund the purchase, from funding from the street department. This is an unbudgeted item, needs to be brought up since items, such as this may come up. Basically, they went there, have some other, warranty work done on the truck, they see the unit sitting there, thought it was a good price. Acting Superintendent Connor brought it back to us. This is something that can make things a lot easier on leaf collection day. Fact of the matter is, it's leaf collection, as we continue this program, I don't think it's anything we could ever get rid of. And it's only gonna become more difficult as these newer subdivisions start losing their lease. It's, a lot of work for them to keep up with it currently, where it's centrally located in the older area of town. And as you have some of these newer subdivisions pop up where they'll be needing to provide that same service, this is something that's definitely gonna help in the future. Basically, we'd just be looking to do it. It is an unbudgeted item, but it would be coming out of the streets department where we've had, a salary budgeted starting May 1 that hasn't really been touched. And here we are in the end of August, so. Anyone have any questions or concerns about it?
Is the unit still available, man?
Best to my knowledge.
To the best of your knowledge, okay. The guy had said, told us he had another fiber.
Well,
Put a deposit down right there.
I'll go ahead and make a motion, the purchase of a 2001 ODB LCT 650 leaf loader in the amount not to exceed $8,000 from Klaus Municipal Supply.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There is a second, any questions on the motion? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Capros.
Yes.
Whalen.
Yes.
Basil.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Chip check.
Yeah.
Economic Development and Community Relations Committee, trustee Meyer.
TIP district update, all data collection and field work is complete, and when the first draft of the report is ready for review, TESCA will ask the village president to appoint a TIP review board. A public hearing before the board will be held. There is no exact timetable on this yet. Independent senior housing development update. A second series of letters went out earlier this month touting our community and the incentives we have to offer. A comprehensive plan will also dedicate a whole chapter on developing a marketing plan for senior housing and AECOM.
AECOM, that's what I was saying, AECOM.
What is it?
Or what?
It is a marketing firm.
Okay.
It's a subcontractor to the comp plan.
Gotcha. Will actually assist next year in implementing the plan. It's our sincere hope that these efforts will be fruitful in attracting a project by 2021. But if we fail after 3 attempts, perhaps our market area cannot support a project of this scope at this time. Question, have we actually called any of these people on the phone?
No, we're going to. We did have one lead come up with letters.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, since a lot of these are local, I mean, you may not get through the first, but I would be curious to, you know, if we're not getting any bites, just pick up the phone and, you know, what exactly are you looking for, or what?
Actually,
you know?
we did call,
We did call a couple.
a couple of them called us to acknowledge the letter, but not a lot.
Because that's, I would be curious as to if there is no interest, what is the issue? Is it just the
My
timing?
gut
Is it the
feeling
market?
is, I should say, it's, some of the issue, I think, is there's no longer funding for that, you know, that part of the fund. At that time, that's what was alive and well, but yet, that necessarily can't say that because they are being built. So we just have to find the right building.
Okay. Quiet zone update. The village has received preliminary design work for the crossings, but until we meet with the Federal Railroad Agency to discuss the scope of the project, it's hard to predict what the true scope will be. The village president has worked closely with H.R. Green and can provide an update.
I'm waiting for a call back to see when we're gonna meet with the choo-choo people. The choo-choo.
Yeah. So it is in the hands of the railroad at the moment. Time for fall newsletter again. We're 1 month away from submitting articles, so if you have any ideas for articles, please let us know. Sesquicentennial update. A committee has been formed to write the next chapter of the history book from 1995 to 2020. This chapter will be 40 to 50 pages long and will be written in the same format as the original book. It can then be placed as an insert into the back of the old books. There's no exact pricing for all of this yet, but we'll be working on selling ads and establishing a price per copy to cover the cost of this historical piece. Please see the enclosed outline and list of committee members.
Just as an update to that, it appears that the entire textbook part of that project would be about $10,000, which I thought was pretty good. I thought it'd be a lot more
What's the idea of the ads, selling ads?
to supplement the cost of the book, the $10,000, because that's what they did 25 years ago. They sold ads in the Quaz book, and that covered most of the cost of the book.
But is there ads in that Quaz book right now from back then?
Yes.
I have to admit, I don't remember either.
I don't remember that either. I mean, I read it cover to cover,
and their ad showed, equipment through the years, that was their ad. So it was an ad saying congratulations Beecher, you know, they weren't really selling anything. There were a lot of businesses that had ads in there, like First Community Bank had the picture of the 3 banks from the beginning till now. Well, since then, they moved to the highway, so they have a new picture they had. Yeah, there were a lot of ads in that, on the 5 board.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Reminder, there's an intergovernmental meeting, Wednesday, August 29th at 7 p.m. at the Township Center. Municipal League Conference, we've mentioned this a couple times, if you still have interest in going, please let Jeanette know tomorrow. We need to know as soon as we can. At this point,
The room block expires, the hotel room block expires August 30th, so if you want to stay overnight, it's the 30th.
okay, and I would ask we make a motion for executive session to discuss personnel.
I'll make a motion to go into executive discussion to discuss employment.
Second.
Motion on the floor, and there is a second. Any question you want? Roll call.
Zurich?
Yes.
Basil?
Yes.
Whaling?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Chief, you're excused. Matt,